Have you ever caught your reflection in a shop window? Just a quick glance, nothing dramatic, and something felt off? Not your skin exactly, not your hair, something you couldn't quite name, but it sat with you the rest of the day. Here's the truth nobody tells you directly. It's usually not your age at all. It's 5 small habits, repeated so often and for so long that you stopped noticing them years ago. Habits that quietly slipped in one ordinary morning at a time, until they simply became how you get ready. And every single one of them is fixable. Today, before you even leave the house. None of these 5 things are dramatic. No procedures, no prescriptions, nothing that costs a fortune. Most of them take under 2 minutes once you know exactly what to do. But left alone, quietly, day after day, they add years to how you're read at a glance, before anyone even clocks a wrinkle or a gray hair. And there's one on this list, number 3, that almost every woman over 60 is doing right now without realizing it. It's aging her more than gray hair, more than fine lines, more than anything actually happening on her skin. We'll get there, and the moment I describe it, you're going to recognize it instantly. In yourself, in a sister, in a friend you sat across from at lunch just last week. Welcome back to Timeless Tresses, my loves, where we help you look like the sharpest, most current version of yourself at every single age. If that's your thing, the subscribe button is right there waiting. Let's get straight into it. Mistake 1. Sparse, undefined eyebrow. Mistake 1. Brows left thin, sparse, and completely undefined. I completely understand why this happens. Brow hair naturally thins with age. Hairs stop growing back entirely in the exact spots you overplucked decades ago, back when thin, high-arched brows were the trend everyone chased. Nobody warned you those gaps would be permanent, so most women just live with it, because honestly, who has the time to fuss over eyebrows every single morning? But here's the mechanism, and it matters more than you'd think. Your brows are the frame around your entire face. They're what the eye uses to locate and organize everything else. The eyes, the cheekbones, the whole structure. When that frame goes patchy or thins to almost nothing, the eyes lose their border, and the whole face reads as softer, less defined, less structured. And here's the part that stings a little. The brain interprets less structured as tired, as older. It's the visual equivalent of a painting with the frame missing. The art might still be beautiful, but something feels unfinished, and the eye doesn't know where to land, so it slides right past you. And it's rarely just one brow either, because plucking habits and hair growth rarely match on both sides. Most women end up with slightly different gaps left and right, which adds a subtle asymmetry the brain registers as off, even when it can't say exactly why. The fix is precise, not dramatic. A brow pencil or powder matched exactly to your natural hair color, not a shade darker, that reads harsh and drawn on from across a room. Apply it in small, light, hair-like strokes, following the exact direction the hair already grows, filling only the true gaps rather than redrawing the whole shape from scratch. You're not trying to build a bold, dramatic brow. You're restoring the frame that was always meant to be there. Finish with a clear or tinted brow gel to hold everything in place through the whole day, so it doesn't smudge or fade by early afternoon. Here's your do-it-today trick, and it costs nothing. Before you touch a single product, brush your existing brow hairs upward with a clean spoolie or an old mascara wand. You'll instantly see where the real gaps actually are. So you're filling with precision instead of guessing and over-applying. And one more thing worth knowing. The shade matters far more than most women realize. Too dark, and the brow floats above the face like it was drawn on with a marker. Too light, and it disappears entirely under overhead lighting. The safest bet is one shade lighter than your natural hair color, never darker, especially once hair starts to gray. A soft, slightly ashy taupe or blonde brown reads as natural on almost everyone, even brunettes, because gray hair growing in changes how dark pigment reads against the skin. But that's not even the most common mistake on this list, my loves. The next one is hiding in almost every woman's daily routine, right on the lower half of the face, and it's so easy to miss. Mistake 2. Pale, dry, undefined lips. Picture this. A woman gets fully ready, hair done, the perfect blazer, earrings chosen with care, and walks out the door with nothing on her lips but a plain, colorless balm. She catches her reflection at a red light and can't quite put her finger on why the whole look feels unfinished, even though everything else was so deliberately put together. Here's why. Lips naturally lose pigment and fullness as we age, and skipping color altogether, or relying only on a clear, untinted balm, leaves the entire lower half of the face flat and washed out. There's nothing left to pull the eye toward the mouth, so the whole complexion reads paler and more tired than it actually is, even on a genuinely good skin day. It's one small missing detail, but it changes how the whole face is read at a glance. The same way a single dim bulb can make an entire room feel duller than it actually is, even though every other light is on. The fix isn't a bold, dramatic red, it's restoration. Start with a lip liner close to your natural lip tone, used to gently redefine the edge that's softened with age. Not to overdraw or reshape, just to bring the natural line back into focus. Then layer a cream or satin lipstick in a warm rose, a soft coral, or a muted berry. Those three families flatter almost every skin undertone over 60, because they add warmth to the face without shouting or fighting your complexion. Do this today. Keep that liner in your handbag, not just sitting on your bathroom vanity. A 30-second touch-up after lunch does more for how finished and put together you look for the rest of the day than almost anything else on this entire list. There's a reason this one gets overlooked so often, too. Somewhere along the way, natural got confused with no color at all, and a whole generation of women started treating any visible lip color as trying too hard. But a soft rose or coral isn't trying too hard. It's simply putting back what's softened. Think of it less like makeup and more like turning the lights back on in a room that's gone slightly dim. That takes care of 2 down. Now we've arrived at the one I promised you back at the very start. The mistake almost every single woman over 60 is making without realizing it. Mistake 3. The forward head and rounded shoulder slum. Here it is. Mistake 3. And this is the big one. Years of looking down. At phones, at books, at laptop screens, at grandchildren in strollers. Gradually pull the head forward and round the shoulders. And here's the part that genuinely surprises people when I explain it. This happens even in women who are absolutely convinced their posture is perfectly fine. It creeps in so slowly, over years, that the body simply adopts it as the new normal, and you stop being able to feel the difference from the inside. The mechanism here is dramatic once you actually see it laid out. A forward head and rounded shoulder position shortens the visible neck, compresses the chest, and creates a slightly stooped silhouette overall. The exact opposite of the long, open, confident line that makes any outfit, any haircut, any color choice look its best. And here's the key detail. From across a room, that silhouette reads as significantly older before anyone even sees a single line on your face or a strand of gray hair. It's not your face aging you in that moment. It's your shape, your outline, the way your whole body carries itself through space. The fix starts with one simple check, repeated several times throughout the day. Draw the shoulders back and gently down. Lift your chin just slightly so your ears stack directly over your shoulders instead of sitting out in front of them, and hold that position for a few seconds before releasing. Repeat it consistently, and your body's resting position genuinely retrains itself over a matter of weeks. No equipment required, no gym membership, nothing to buy. Your do-it-today trick, a simple sticky note on the bathroom mirror, or a posture reminder set on your phone for a few times a day. That's genuinely all it takes to build the awareness until the correction becomes automatic and you stop having to think about it at all. I think of this one as the mistake that hides in plain sight because it never announces itself the way a wrinkle or a gray root does. Nobody looks in the mirror one morning and thinks, "My shoulders have rounded forward 2 inches this year." It happens one scrolled headline, one bent over sink, one carried grocery bag at a time, and because it happens slowly, the body simply accepts it as the new baseline. That's exactly why the fix has to be a repeated check, not a one-time correction. You're not fixing a moment, you're retraining a habit that took years to form. 3 down, my friends. If any of these first 3 have already got you rethinking your daily routine, this is a good moment to hit that like button. It genuinely helps this reach more women over 60 who need to hear exactly this. Now let's keep going, because the next mistake lives directly on your face, every single day, and most women haven't reconsidered it in years. Mistake 4. Outdated or ill-fitting glasses frames. Quick one, this next one. This is the frame sitting on your face right now that you haven't actually reconsidered in years. Glasses chosen a decade ago, for a slightly different face, slightly different proportions, a slightly different you, can sit awkwardly now. Too small, too dated in shape, or simply the wrong scale for your current face, and they end up drawing attention exactly where you'd rather it not go. The fix. At your next eye exam, size up slightly from those very narrow, small frames that were popular years ago. Choose a color that complements your skin tone and hair rather than disappearing into it or fighting against it. And look specifically for a subtle upward angle at the outer corner of the frame. It visually lifts the entire eye area, the same way a well-placed wing of eyeliner does. Do it today, even before your next exam. Clean your current frames properly, and check that the fit is right at the nose and temples. A frame sitting crooked or slipping down ages you faster in a single glance than an outdated shape ever will on its own. And here's a small detail worth checking right now. While you're thinking about it, hold your current glasses at arm's length and look at where the frame sits relative to your eyebrows. If the top of the frame cuts straight across the middle of your brow instead of sitting just above it, that's usually the clearest sign the size or shape has quietly gone out of proportion with your face. One left, my loves. And this is the one that can quietly undo every other fix on this entire list if you get it wrong. Mistake 5. Heavy, cakey foundation. In the wrong formula. Mistake 5, the exact formula that worked beautifully at 40 and hasn't been touched or questioned since. I understand the instinct completely. Full coverage feels safe, feels like insurance. But skin loses natural oil production as we age, and a heavy matte formula that doesn't account for that change settles directly into fine lines, sits flat and dull on the surface, and creates a slightly mask-like quality by midday. That mask-like finish reads as significantly older than a lighter, more luminous formula ever would, no matter how carefully it was applied that morning. The fix here is a formula change, not a technique change. This isn't about learning some complicated new blending trick, and it isn't about spending an extra 20 minutes at the mirror every morning. Switch to a lightweight, dewy, or satin finish foundation, or even a tinted moisturizer, applied with a damp makeup sponge in one thin layer rather than a heavy one. Add a small touch of cream highlighter to the high points of the cheekbones for a natural, healthy luminosity that catches the light instead of flattening it. Your do-it-today trick, and you can try this in the next 5 minutes. Press a damp sponge over your current foundation right now, before buying anything new at all. It shears out the coverage and softens that mask-like look almost instantly. A genuine, free test run before you commit to purchasing anything different. Here's what makes this one so sneaky. The formula didn't change, you did, underneath it. Skin at 40 and skin at 65 behave completely differently on a cellular level. But most women keep buying the same brand, the same shade, the same finish, out of pure habit and loyalty. It's not that the product got worse. It's that it was never designed for the skin you have right now. Here's the real secret behind all 5 of these, my friends. And it isn't any single product, trick, or purchase. It's definition. Every one of these habits, left unaddressed long enough, quietly softens the natural definition your face and body already have. The frame of the brow, the line of the lip, the upright line of the spine, the shape of the eye behind the frame, the natural glow underneath the skin. None of these fixes add anything foreign or dramatic to who you are. They simply restore what time and habit quietly softened without you noticing. That's the principle sitting underneath every single item on this list. And it's the one thing worth remembering long after this video ends. Think about it this way. Nobody looks at a beautifully restored piece of furniture and says it looks new. They say it looks like itself again, the way it was always meant to look before years of dust and neglect dulled it down. That's exactly what's happening with your brows, your lips, your posture, your frames, your skin. You're not chasing youth. You're simply clearing away 5 small layers of neglect that built up so gradually, nobody, including you, noticed them arriving. Close. 5 things, 5 fixes, and not one of them required anything dramatic, expensive, or complicated. Sparse brows, restored in under 2 minutes with the right pencil and a little gel. Faded, pale lips, brought back to life with a liner and the right warm tone for your complexion. That forward head slump, corrected with a few seconds of awareness repeated consistently throughout the day. Outdated glasses frames, refreshed at your very next eye exam. And heavy, cakey foundation, swapped for something lighter that works with your skin instead of fighting against it. You've earned the right to feel confident getting dressed and walking out that door exactly as you are, today, without waiting for some future version of yourself. None of this is about becoming someone different. It's about letting what's already there, under the habits, under the years, come through clearly again. And notice something about all 5 of these. Not one required a dermatologist, a surgeon, or a single procedure. Not one required you to spend hundreds of dollars or overhaul your entire routine overnight. Every single fix on this list is something you can start today, with things you likely already own, in the time it takes to drink your morning coffee. That's the part nobody tells you, that looking sharper, more current, more like yourself was never locked behind some expensive solution. It was always this close. If this helped you see something new, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And tell me down in the comments, which of these 5 are you fixing first? I genuinely read every single one. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it just as much as you did today. Looking older was never inevitable, my loves. It was just 5 small habits, and now you know exactly how to fix every one of them.